slaughtering goats and chanting incantations. Look, you could even decide that.
If you need to,
Why
then
not?
do that.
Yes.
Then do that, because goats need to die. We need to eat, Phil. You know?
Okay.
So even if it's that, whatever it is, you need some ritual. Hey, thanks for watching this clip. To see the full conversation, please click the link in the description. There's something about ritual that, coming back to hazing actually is one of the rituals. It's a ritual that shows up anywhere that a group of men are.
Yeah.
So there's something in it that is psychologically necessary for
Look,
males.
I understand it because look at the Freemasons and the so-called occultic groups.
Yeah.
All these rituals that people tend to fear.
Yeah.
I guess it's just, I don't know whether mind play, I don't know whether the right description would be to say, call it mind play, but it serves a purpose. Even the so-called attainment of degrees.
Yes.
I'm a degree 1, 2, 3, and people are described as 33 degree, and that's when you are the master and you are crushed. The whole works. And the same thing goes for even physical work, right?
Yeah.
Like in martial arts.
Yes, exactly.
White belt, and then you attain other belts. And even before you get to certain belts, there are certain things that you have to do by yourself, like what is called the kata. You have to do it by yourself before you even do that whole combat with somebody else, and then you are given, yes, the whole thing. Yeah, so the rituals are important. I really don't understand why they are important, but
I think there's a psychological. It would be an interesting thing to study. I think there's a psychological. So one thing that strikes me is that they probably help you form an identity with the group. It's something that you do with the group. And because you're doing it with the group, it bonds you with the group in that way. And there's something about rituals. So we all have rituals, regardless of whether we know it or not. If you examine your day, there are certain things that you just do in a certain order every day, whatever that thing is. And if you take the example of, let's say, driving, the way you drive, when you go into a car that, let's say you're used to driving a manual and you're in an automatic or vice versa, you feel out of place because there's a certain way you do it. There's certain practice to it. And this practice makes you feel like part of the whole thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that sense of belonging, you feel like the car is an extension of you because you're not thinking about it, because it's all ritual. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it feels like home. It feels like do you know what I mean? So I think it builds that sense of belonging and that group identity.
And to that, I think maybe some rituals, there are some benefits to certain rituals, and to the degrees of how much of it is required from you can make you be more committed to it. So I'm thinking that some rituals, depending on whether they challenge your existence, your life, like how the military trains some of its operatives. I read a quote on a book some years back where they said, in the SAS, we train you as if we want to kill you. Not as if, I don't know whether, we actually train you by trying to kill you. Right. I think that is, just paraphrasing it. They train you by actually trying to kill you. Right. Now, if you're able to overcome all those hurdles, then you're actually SAS material. And I guess they are all rituals, right? They are all things that you have to do, the waking up at dawn and going through all those really tasking things. And when people come out of it, maybe, again, I don't know for sure, but maybe when they have done all of these things and they have seen that they almost died, but they came back and they are stronger, they are more committed to their brotherhood. They are committed to, look, go to this country, take on this mission, which seems like a mission impossible to the ordinary person. But because of all these rituals that this person may have done some time back, they're like, why not?
They have self-belief and belief in the group.
Yes.
I think I think an important aspect of things like that, like hazing, like boot camp and that kind of thing, is there's a certain kind of dying you need to do. It's not a physical death.
Yeah.
Especially why it happens around young manhood and why the military won't take people above a certain age. I think it has to do with dying as a boy and being shaped as the man.
But
they have
to support your point, the same thing happens in Christianity. Dying to sin and being risen to be there.
These themes are everywhere.
Everywhere.
The themes are everywhere. And the themes require a sacrifice on your part. A big sacrifice on your part. Otherwise, it's not real. Otherwise, it's not real. You know what I mean? And like even boxing. Yeah. I don't know if you ever watched $1 Million Baby.
No, I haven't yet. Oh, the
old one.
Movie
Hilary
about
Swank.
Yes. I saw parts of it, not everything.
There's a part where there's some narrator is talking about. I think it's Morgan Freeman. He was talking about how a boxer trains you, and he trains you so that all you hear is his voice at some point. So that if he tells you to go left, you go left.
Yeah.
If he tells you to push when you feel like pulling, you push. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's and if you look at how apparently I've never boxed, but how good trainers train is they make you work so hard that you're like near death.
Yeah.
And after that they start training you.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a sense of your former self dying in some way, or put in other words, your former self realizing that it's not capable of, and then because it's capable of through the guidance of this person being so closely linked to that.
Yes.
So I think that's a function ritual serves, and you can see why it's so dangerous in the hands of, you know, everybody on the street.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they can reshape people to whatever.
So far we've talked about generally what constitutes masculinity. We've talked about the need for safe spaces for men, and then we've talked about the need for rituals. And I guess one thing we can also say for men, and even for us who are grooming our sons, we have to be careful the kinds of spaces they choose.
Absolutely.
And even the kinds of rituals they participate in.
You have to be
very
careful.
Right?
Very careful.
Very careful of it, because there are the adrenaline junkies, that people who are just, you know, bad people. They are, you know, suggesting things that are incredibly. And even coming to this, when I look at my son and my daughters, the kinds of things he naturally wants to do, they always seem like they're extreme. I'm like, come on, son, why?
Yeah.
You know, there's certain times he feels like, okay, so if I jump here, what will happen? But if I fall and I break my leg, then what?
Yeah.
He's asking me, like, and then what? Yeah, if I'm in pain, and then what? Anyway, but it is true. All of these things are inbuilt. I have not had those kind of conversations with my daughters, but with him, it's just there. It's just there.
Yeah. And it needs to be expressed somehow.
Yes.
So you need to find a safe place and safe way to express it. Otherwise, one day he's going to try something stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we're missing when we like try to kill aggression. We miss its safe expression and leave only the unsafe expression.
Yeah. And I don't think it's just the aggression that's a target.
Yeah.
I think to a large extent, even the male voice is deemed unworthy.
Oh yeah. I mean, the aggression is just the most clear example. But I mean,
maybe if you're a man and you just say, "Look, I want to do this or I want to support that," somebody will find, okay, why do you want to do this? Is it because you want to? Sometimes I wonder, why must everything be us versus?
If you made it this far, maybe you want to see the rest of it. Click the link in the description for the long version.